Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, you don't know what it is that I do here. I am a love coach specifically for women who want to heal and reconcile after infidelity. You've been cheated on. You have been. Uh, oh, my sound is on. You have been. There we go. All right. So you've been cheated on, and it's serious, right? This is a devastating, shocking, shattering thing to happen to you. However, the idea of not being with your person anymore is just as shattering. Giving up your family, giving up the life that you've created together seems like just as bad a choice as staying and trying to work it out. So you're just trying to figure out how to get back to stable ground and figure out if it is possible for the two of you to work things out, for you to be able to trust again, for you to be able to open up your heart again. I am here to tell you that that is absolutely possible. I know plenty of people will tell you that it is not possible, but I am one of those people who has actually done it. I am 18 years past the last infidelity with my husband. And let me tell you, it was all worth it. If I can tell you anything, if I can give you any little bit of encouragement, just last night it was very interesting. We were just sitting chilling, having a good evening together. And he says, he's like, I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to make sure that I'm like the best husband that I can possibly be. And he was like, I am really sorry that I cheated on you. I am so sorry that I ever did that to you. He's like, that's like one of the worst things I've ever done. I don't know what in the world I was thinking at that time, but I just didn't appreciate what I had. And I was like, at this point, I don't need the apologies anymore. You will get to the point where you actually don't need the apologies anymore, but it is nice that you will get to a certain point where he will just on his own just sit down and say to you, I don't know what I was doing. I had lost my mind. I don't know why in the world I would have put our relationship in jeopardy like that. You will get that, all right? But that's on the other side of healing. A lot of the things that you want right now, you want to hear that, but you don't quite believe it. If your heart is not open enough to hear it, it's not really going to affect you. Right now, it still makes me feel like, oh, he still thinks about the fact that that really hurt me, and he really does. He is bothered by it. He really thinks about the fact that he had this huge thing that he did wrong to me, and he still thinks about it. So he's not going to forget. Okay. Just in case you wanted to know, he's not going to forget that he did this. He's not going to forget the way that he hurt you. And this is 18 years later. He is still saying, hey, you gave me another chance when I really didn't deserve it. And I am so sorry I ever did that to you. So you can get to that place where the two of you are healed, where you're feeling good, where the relationship is stable and secure and you're feeling trusting. You can get to that place, but you just got to do the work of healing first. I know that a lot of the healing you think is going to come from him, but it is not. All of the things that I'm going to tell you, the things that I'm going to let you know are all about you healing. I'm all about you getting to a better place, getting your feet underneath you again, getting untangled from the trauma that has happened to you so that you can move forward and that you can get to that better place with your honey. Okay? All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you have questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, put them in the comments. But before I start anything else, let me just remind you, next week we are starting the Trust Issues Challenge. If you have had trouble with the trust, if the trust has been giving you a fit, okay, if you haven't been able to figure out how you're supposed to trust this person 100% again, we're going to talk about that next week. I'll tell you about that right now. You're not supposed to trust anybody 100%, okay? Let's not even let that be the goal, okay? You are supposed to trust them at a comfortable percentage, not completely unrealistic 100%. I think that that's a crazy thing to think for any other person. If you can trust yourself 100%, that's great. But trying to trust another whole person 100%, I think that's raising the bar a little too high. Okay. So we are going to talk all about trust next week. We're going to talk about how you can shed that fear of trusting again, how you can break through to feeling trusting even when you don't feel like you should be. Your body and your brain are scared right now. It is going to tell you, no, no, you shouldn't trust. All right. But you will feel better and you will heal faster if you do. So I want you to be able to have that as an option to be able to trust, even though it feels like the scariest thing in the world to do. So, if you have not yet signed up for the Trust Issues Challenge, I want you to work with me for an entire week just on your trust, just on figuring out why the trust went away so completely when this happened, when this trauma happened to you, why you have to actually practice trust to get the trust back, why that trust is not going to be handed to you on a silver platter by your mate. I want you to know the ways that you can develop your trust again, because you absolutely can. You just have to put in the practice. Okay. So we are going to be working on that next week. Please come join me for the Trust Issues Challenge. It's going to be in the Facebook group, the Love After Cheating Facebook group, and it is going to be in my special group for having challenges. So once you sign up, you can pick which one you want. Sammy said, not to be mean, but I sound like a man. Do you mean that my voice sounds like a man, or do you say that what I'm saying sounds like I'm a man? Let me know in the comments. I have a deep voice and I love it. So, I understand if you don't like it, but I dig it. All right. So I am putting in the comments right now the link for the Trust Issues Challenge that is over here on YouTube. Oh no. Wait a minute. Clear that. All right. I'm putting it in all the places. I'm going to put it in the Love After Cheating group. I'm going to put it in the YouTube comments, and I'm also going to put it on my page, Love Coach Dasha. That's where I go live every single week. If you are struggling with the trauma of trying to get over infidelity, I'm here for you. Okay. That is where you can find me each and every week, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be right here in Facebook, the Love Coach Dasha page, then in Facebook, also in the Love After Cheating Facebook group, and on my Love Coach Dasha YouTube channel. So you can find me every week for absolutely free, and the challenge is absolutely free next week. So you want to sign up for that, okay? You definitely want to sign up for that. All right. Putting it everywhere. Everybody see me on Love Coach Dasha? And I got to refresh. All right. So while I'm doing that, let me tell you a little bit about what I do here. I am going to teach you about the fact that this was a trauma, okay? Hey there, Catherine. I see you over there on YouTube. All right. This has been a trauma. You have been through a trauma. You've got to recognize that and treat it as such. If you are not accepting of the fact that this is a trauma and you have to work through trauma, you're just going to be sitting there stuck. You're not going to feel like you can ever get to the point where you feel like you are loving, trusting, open, vulnerable. You're not going to feel those things again unless you can understand that the trauma has cut those feelings off a little bit for you. What we're trying to do when we fix this trauma is we're trying to get in contact with those feelings again. Your trauma is always going to make you feel like you should be afraid. You should back away. You should put up walls. You shouldn't understand. You should ask a whole bunch of questions. You should dwell in the pain. And what I want you to know is dwelling in the pain is the path of pain. All right. There is no healing at the end of that path. You have to get on the healing path in order to be able to do that. And that's what I teach you about. So I'm going to teach you a few things that I teach everybody that I work with, all of my clients. I teach them these same things. These are the things that if you do them on a regular basis, you're going to start to overcome some of the effects of the trauma on your body, because trauma is physical. Trauma is not just a mental thing, okay? Trauma is actually something happening physically in your body, and we've got to start to combat that if we're going to get over it, okay? So the first thing we're always going to do every time we get together is do our deep breathing. I want you to come do your deep breathing with me, okay? What we do is 4-7-8 breathing. What we do is blow out, try and deflate your lungs as much as you possibly can. Then you're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold that breath for a count of 7, and then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. Make the noise. Every time you're blowing out, every time you're exhaling, make that noise. We're creating a trigger with that. Can be triggered in bad ways, right? We can also create good triggers. You can create good triggers with anything that's sensory. With a smell, if you associate a smell with going out on a nice date together, if you associate a sound with, every time you kiss him, if you can associate a physical sensation with something positive, you can create a positive trigger, just like we create negative triggers. Like if his phone goes off, that's usually a negative trigger, right? That gets you all cold and sweaty. That makes your heart beat all fast. It makes your breath come faster because you're like, oh, is this another woman that's texting him? Okay. So if we are creating good triggers, we've got something built up against those bad triggers that are going on in our brain that happen automatically when this trauma happened. All right. So we are going to do the deep breathing together. Join me, why don't you? First things first, we're going to blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do the deep breathing? It should feel different physically. Remember, this is a physical sensation that we're fighting against. So if you do your deep breathing, that is the opposite breathing of the breathing that you do when you're traumatized. Breathing when you're traumatized is sipping. It's short. It's shallow. You're not fully inhaling and exhaling. So you're not getting that full breath of oxygen that you could be getting. When you do get that full breath of oxygen, when you slow your breathing and control your breathing, you are telling your body that actually, I know you think that we're in danger, but we're actually not in danger. I have looked around. I have surveilled the entire area. There is nothing here about to eat us. There is nothing here about to harm us. We are okay. So if you can do that, if you can control that breath and get that breath going nice and easy, slow in, slow out, you're going to train your brain to believe you when you say that you're not in any danger. Okay. So let me know in the comments, how does it feel when you do your deep breathing? I'd like to know. What feelings do you get? A lot of people will get a little sleepy sometimes. It'll be like yawning. Some people will get a little wired. They'll feel like they got a little jolt to caffeine because they got all that extra oxygen up to their brains. It is a little bit different for every person, but it should feel like a difference. Physically, there is something going on physically that we are trying to change here. Okay. Second thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, honey, I need you to remember to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? If you are not doing your journaling, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need to crack open your journal at least twice a day. I want you to do it 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, okay? This does not have to be a book. 5 minutes is good. Whatever bubbles to the front of your mind, the thing that comes to the forefront, that's what you write down. Okay, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, you can put that together later. The whole thing is to actually write, put things down in the journal so then you can go back and review, and then you can catch an overview. Sometimes you will catch patterns. You'll be able to figure out, oh, this thing, this day, this time, this person triggers me. Oh, I'll know that for the next time. I'll be aware that that trigger could be coming when I'm dealing with this date, time, person, thing, place, or thing. Okay. You can determine what is going to bother you ahead of time if you do your journaling. And you can find out all sorts of things that you have asked over and over again, things that you are just not settled with you, your fears, the things that are really bothering you about the situation. They'll come to the surface, and they'll come to the surface again and again as you're writing, but you will be able to have a clear roadmap about what is wrong, what is causing this trauma within you, and then the things that you can actually work on to fix those things. Okay. This one's my journal. This is mine at the moment. It's got little what you call it, dividers. I love it. But it does not matter what you use. You can use one from the dollar store. You can use a $50 one you get off of Etsy. I don't care what you use as long as you use it. Pen to paper. I know that people want to journal in their phones. You need a pen and paper. There is something about the permanence of it, something about not just being able to tap a screen and it all be erased. If you are writing on paper, your brain believes that it is out in the real world with you, and sometimes it'll let that thought go. That thought that keeps repeating over and over and over again in your head, you write it down in the book. You say, yeah, this is a thought that keeps coming to me. My brain keeps saying this thing over and over. This is the thing. I'd like to figure out exactly why it keeps saying that. I don't know right now, but this is what I keep hearing. A lot of the time, your brain will let it go. It'll say, okay, it's down. It's in the special book. It's on paper. It is physically here in the world with her. It's not just a thought anymore. It's written down. So we can deal with that later. We don't have to keep on reminding her of this thought. Okay. When you're doing your journaling, I need you to do your date, your time, your level of anxiety. Okay. Every single time. Your date and your time are going to give you clues about your triggers, when things happen, why things happen. And then your level of anxiety is 0 to 10. This is so we can have a fence around these feelings. These feelings can only get as big as a 10. They can't get to 100. They can't get to 1,000. Okay. They can't get bigger than you. They are going to be a 0 to a 10. A 0 is everything is great. All is right with the world. It is a lovely, lovely time in your world. Write that down. You want to put that right up at the top, right here, where you can just flip through the book and you can see those little notations of a 0 day. You want to be able to see that at a glance, because your brain on trauma will tell you that everything is always bad. Nothing good ever happens to you. Your life is miserable. And if you are consistently writing down the days where you're a 0 or a 1 for your anxiety and you're feeling pretty good, you can prove that your brain is just lying to you. When you are traumatized, your brain will lie to you a whole bunch. Okay. Your brain lies to you on a general purpose, but when you are traumatized, it lies an awful lot, and it lies really negatively about your entire life. So instead of believing it, you can go right to your journal, something that you know that you've written and you wrote in the moment how you were feeling, and you can prove to yourself that your brain is lying. Your brain is not telling you the truth. It is not giving you good information. It is telling you something negative that you don't need to hear right now. Okay. 10 is, I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay. That's a 10. A 10 is a complete loss of control. Not I want to lose control. You have lost control. You are throwing things. You are screaming at the top of your lungs. You're losing your voice. You might commit a crime. I'm talking about you are out of control of yourself. Okay. You have lost the ability to reel it in. Okay. And I know we've all been there. I have been there myself. And usually that happens like middle of the night. Okay. But we're going to try very hard not to have too many tens if we can possibly help it. We don't want to be losing our minds. We don't want to be throwing our own stuff around and breaking it. We don't want to be fighting. We don't want the police called on us. We don't want to end up on Snapped. Okay. So we're going to try really hard to keep it below a 10, do our deep breathing, calm ourselves down, do a little bit of journaling, and see if we can pull that down a couple levels. Okay. Um, if you are sitting down and you have the pen in your hand and you've got the book open, you are not at a 10. Okay. You're going to want to think that you are, especially if a couple seconds before that you were at a 10. But if you could reel it in enough to say, okay, I got to do my journaling, and you can sit down and you can pick up your book and you can pick up your pen, that is in control of yourself. You are not a 10. It might be a 9, might be a 9.5, but you're not a 10. And that's a good thing to know, that if you are not in control of yourself enough to pick up your pen and paper, that could possibly be a 10. Okay. All right. So before you go to bed, but when you first wake up, 5 minutes, and then any other time during the day, still only about 5 minutes. You do not need to write a book. I don't want you to get hand cramps trying to write every single thought that comes to your brain, because we do flood. And so when you're flooding and all of those thoughts are coming, every negative thought, every intrusive thought is going to try and funnel its way out of your brain in that point. If you put that time limit on it, you're saying to your brain, hey, the most important stuff first. Whatever you are the most concerned about, that's what you better talk about right now. Don't get all twisted into other things right now. The most important things, you will train your brain to spill out those most important things first. And then the things that are left are less important, less to deal with. Okay. Before you go to bed at night is a good time to journal, because if you have bad dreams about being cheated on, if you go ahead and write in your journal before you go to bed, a lot of the time that will let your sleep be calmer, more peaceful. If you assign your brain to work on a problem, both times in the morning when you're first getting up, you're like, look, I got to go to work today. I got stuff to do, but I'm going to write down for 5 minutes all the stuff that's coming top of mind. Brain, be working in the background while I'm doing my thing today. Try and figure this thing out. Okay. And then at the end of the day, come back and see. At the end of the day, when you're doing your journaling in the evening, see if your brain actually did work those things out for you during the day without you focusing on them. And then at night before you go to bed, if you do the same thing, hey, look, brain, I got to shut down for the night, but unconscious, you feel free to work on this, and this tonight while I'm asleep. A lot of the time you'll wake up with the answer. Okay. All right. The next thing, third thing that we're always going to talk about when we get together, I need you to develop an attitude of gratitude. I need you to look for opportunities to be grateful, changing that frequency. The misery of this trauma tells you that everything is awful all the time. So if you are intentionally pointing your brain towards things that are good, things that make you happy, things that make you feel good about your life, you can prove to yourself and to your brain that everything is not always awful. Things are good, things are happy. And a lot of the time, there are really good things that exist in the world. Okay. So, from anything. I always say the internet. That's like one of my favorite things. I didn't have the internet as a kid. Okay. I remember when we got the internet. It was cool. All right. And it's still cool to me. Even now, I'm grateful that I live in a time where I didn't have it and then I did, and I can see the difference. Okay. I can see how people can connect now the way that they couldn't connect before. I can see how you can find out knowledge that you didn't have access to before. I think it is brilliant. I am so grateful to live in a time where we have the internet. Okay. I'm grateful for the AI. My husband is a little nervous about the AI, but I feel like this is a great thing. I cannot wait for that to be integrated into everything. And I'm grateful for the color purple. And I'm grateful for, let's see, my son graduated from high school last week. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful I don't have to get any more children through high school. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. All right. I'm grateful I'm that much closer to grandkids. One of these days I'll have grandchildren. It'll be beautiful. So I'm grateful for things every day in my life that changes the frequency that you're vibrating at. It changes what your brain is focused on. After a trauma, your brain automatically does these things. It automatically goes to everything is awful, nothing is okay, you should be afraid. And if you are constantly inputting, hey, no, but I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, I am grateful for the pool at the YMCA and for deep water aerobics classes, and I am grateful for, oh goodness, the new house. And I'm grateful for my aunt being able to live here with us. All the things, all the things. If you're constantly feeding those into your brain will say, oh, she's looking for the good things, not the bad things. And then that starts to override that automatic negativity that comes with trauma. Um, you want to always be looking towards the best. You want your life to go the best, right? So you should be looking towards the best. When you catch yourself thinking awful thoughts and talking down to yourself and saying how awful your relationship is and he never loved me and he's never going to be faithful again, that is the life that you will live. That is what your brain will lean into because you keep repeating it. Whatever you repeat, your brain will believe. Okay. If you are consistently looking for things to be grateful for, also your brain will come along and try and help you with that. It will offer you things periodically through the day and be like, oh, but what about this? This is kind of close to something you said you were grateful for. You like this? It will try and help you. And if you can just hold on to a positive thought for like 17 seconds, your brain will offer you another positive thought. Just try it. I swear it works. If you can hang on to that feeling of that good thought, if you can focus on it, you can have another one delivered to you pretty easily if you just hang on to it for about 17, 20 seconds. Okay. All right. Last thing before I get all into the lesson for today, that I just want to tell you, and I'm always going to remind you of because I really need you to hear me on this. Stop asking all those questions about what happened. I know your brain is screaming to know, but it is also just a trauma response. Your brain doesn't care about you healing. That's not even close to what it cares about. It cares about you not being hurt. So it will continue to replay over and over again all the details, and it will make you keep asking questions about all the details. And then you get all of this ammunition to use against him instead of um, consoling yourself and calming yourself. So I know that it seems like that voice in your head that says, I have to know all the answers or I won't be able to heal. I know that voice sounds like it's real. It's lying to you. It is not real. That is not true. You can absolutely heal without getting all the details. And as a matter of fact, on average, most women say that they did not need the details. I've worked with hundreds of women. Time after time after time, they're like, I shouldn't have asked that. I shouldn't have gotten the answer to that question. That answer just destroyed me. And that was something else that I had to heal from. It's more work. That's why your brain is doing it. It's trying to give you more work towards the healing so you won't heal, so you'll back off. You'll get away from what your brain considers a threat. That's what all those questions are about. This is a threat. Let me question the threat. Let me figure out what this threat is all about. And maybe I can prevent this threat from hurting me. But you are still treating your person, the person that you love and that you want to be with and have a life with, as a threat. That is not going to help your case. Okay. It's not going to help you get to where you want to be. So you got to stop asking the questions. Now, if you are dying to ask a question, because I know that's how it is. When your brain is like, I have got to ask the question. Okay, yes, it's got to ask a question. let's give it better questions to ask. Okay. So instead of the ones that you're thinking of, try this. This is the and THEAND. It's from the good people at the Skin Deep. I think this is still on Amazon for like $30. There's other versions of it. There's like parents and children, there's long-term relationships, but this one happens to be the healing edition. And this set of cards will give you better questions to ask than the ones that are in your brain. So I'll give you a couple of these. What do my hugs feel like? Wouldn't you rather know that? Wouldn't that be a better question to ask? Wouldn't that be a better thing to feed into your brain and into your body and into your soul than all the other questions that you could ask about the affair? Right? Wouldn't that be better? What do my hugs feel like? And next one is, what do you hope your love feels like? Oh, that was a good set to go together. What do you feel? What do you hope your love feels like? All right. I hope my love feels like home. I hope my love feels like home, but an exciting day at home, like something good is about to happen. And the last one, how do you know when I'm hurting? All right. Now, see, that could end up being about the affair, but it could end up being about something completely different. He would have noticed that you were hurting about something else. And you're like, okay, yes, I see when you do this, this shows me that you're hurting. So it doesn't always have to be exactly about the affair. These are just designed to reconnect the two of you. I know your brain is saying, when you're wanting to ask all those questions, it's saying, oh, if I have all these questions, if I ask all these questions, then we'll be connected. We will be close to each other. These are actually designed to make you feel closer to each other. So try those instead of trying the ones that are in your head, okay? All righty, dolls. We're going to go a little bit into the lesson for today. Now, I'm going to remind you, sign up for the Trust Issues Challenge. You need to do that. And if you don't see the link, go ahead and just DM me trust, and I will send you the link for the Trust Issues Challenge. It is all next week except for Wednesday night, which is when I have a date. We have tickets. So we're going to go the 8th, the 9th, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week. That's the 5 days of the Trust Issues Challenge. We're going to have a good time. We are going to talk about this trust, and you're going to figure out how to trust again if you so choose. So sign up for the Trust Issues Challenge or DM me trust, and I will send you the link. Okay. All right. So today I want to talk about what's really keeping you stuck. All right. I have been a little stuck myself the last few weeks. Shoot, for the last few months, truth be told. I have had a lot of major life changes. Things have been different. And so I felt a little stuck, and I was thinking about that, getting ready for the Trust Issues Challenge. I got sick before it was supposed to start last month. So I had to change it and put it into June. And I was thinking about how I had that momentum going, and then it just got called to a halt. And I'm thinking about the momentum that people see as they're healing. And I've been seeing this pattern recently. So I've noticed something lately that I think keeps a lot of women stuck in the healing process after betrayal. What happens is we become so focused on someone else's change that we stop changing. Okay. This is a situation where this is a trauma. Something has to change. You have to heal. So you are definitely going to need to change. And what happens is the fear from this trauma makes you start looking outside of yourself to find that healing, to find that change that needs to happen. You think that, well, he did this, so he should be the one to change, right? But you're the one that hurt. You are the one that is in the state of hurting. So you've got to change from that state to a state of healing. You've got to do that. There is no way for anybody else to give you that. You have to do that on your own. You have to actually come from inside you and start to work on the change of getting towards healing. Um, it's easier to focus on them. It's you focus on them because it's easier, because it's a lot easier to look outside yourself, um to the other person, to be able to watch their behavior, to see that, okay, well, if they're changing, then I might be safe to change. And it does feel like it's safer, and it creates this illusion of control. I am controlling something by watching them, by making sure that they're doing the right thing. Then that says that I'm allowed to go ahead and heal. I'm allowed to go ahead and go forward. Um, the fear from the trauma convinces us that the answer is out there. Okay. The fear from the trauma is always going to try and tell you that the answer is not within you. It is not you that needs to heal. It is not you that needs to change in any way, shape, or form. It is this other person. They're the ones that cause this problem. So the answer is not within your reach. It is within somebody else's reach. So that will show itself in waiting for them to always give you reassurance, waiting for them to be consistent before you decide to heal, waiting for apologies, waiting for the right apology. A lot of the time, that's what it is. It's not the apology because you've gotten an apology probably, but your fear says that it's not the right one. So you can't heal yet. You can't start to change anything yet until you get that right apology. Waiting for more proof. That's always a trap. Women get caught in all the time trying to wait to have more proof of what happened before getting ready to go ahead and heal, even though you know you want to heal. All right. That's where that presents itself. That the answer is not within me. The answer is out there somewhere. And if this person, my person, can give me these things, then I can heal. All right. Fear wants us watching someone else's life because then we don't have to face our own. Then we don't have to deal with ourselves if we're watching them. And it's easier to monitor someone else's behavior than it is to change our own behavior. Okay. Um, and this keeps us stuck because the reality is, if we're constantly looking outside ourselves, we're not working on ourselves. We're not dealing with the emotional dependence that we are feeling. That's where those feelings come from, where you want to have sex all the time with the person that you're hurt by. It That is where that comes from. You feel like your emotions have to depend on what's going on between me and them. Your decision making has to be in response to whatever they are doing. You don't get to make your own decisions. You got to wait and see what they do, and then you can make a decision. Um, it's giving away agency, it's giving away control over your own destiny. And it's constantly changing yourself based upon what they're doing, because this is a traumatic time for everybody. I know it feels like it's only you, but when you're in trouble, you think about it. When you've been in trouble, isn't that a traumatic time for you too? Even if you did it, even if you absolutely did it, you were absolutely wrong for it. When you're in trouble, when the people that you love are looking at you with a side eye, you feel that is traumatic to you. So the same thing is happening with your mate. He's dealing with his own trauma from this whole thing, and so trauma creates a little indecisiveness. You go back and forth. Okay. And that's why some of the time these men are like, oh, well, no, I'm just going to go ahead and leave and be with them. And then they come back and they're like, no, I don't want to leave them. I want to be with you. I love you so much. Because trauma makes you indecisive and makes you wishy-washy. So the same thing is happening to them that it's happening to you. So if they're getting pulled back and forth, and you are responding to them, then you are getting pulled back and forth, back and forth. Okay. When you're dealing with your own trauma, you've got to learn how to stay stable in your own healing instead of trying to let your healing depend on anybody else. The moment we make our peace dependent on someone else's choices, we're giving up control of the steering wheel. You taking your hands off and you're like, oh, here you go, you drive, even though you have your foot on the gas. Okay. You cannot let somebody else drive your healing. they will fumble it every time. They will crash and burn every single time because they don't know how to control your healing. They don't know how to help you. You can only heal yourself. So I understand that it feels like they should be the one that makes you able to make the choice. But this choice is all about you. It's your decision, nobody else's. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Mine was still acting up. This is 18 years later, but he cheated for 4 years. Okay. What I did is how I healed. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't look at what he was doing. I had to work on my own healing on my own. When every one of your decisions is a reaction, you stop creating your life and you start chasing life. And that's no good for you. You don't want to be chasing this life. You want to be living this life. You want to be creating your own story as you go along. And that's what you are doing. When you choose to heal and you choose not to wait on them for the changes that need to be made, you go ahead and make them yourself. You are saying that I get to create my life. Even in spite of this trauma happening to me, I get to create my life. I am going to enjoy my life. I am going to have the things that I want in my life. Even if this person isn't catching up to me, I'm still going to be able to do that because I'm healing on my own. Okay. So you can influence like communication, trying to be more clear in your communication, trying to speak more concisely, clearly about what you are feeling and what you need, and being able to receive messages better. You can influence that. You can influence how you hear what the other person is saying. You can influence boundaries. Boundaries are completely about you. Boundaries are not rules for another person. Boundaries are, if you cheat on me, I will not be with you. Okay. That's you making that decision. Or if I find out that you are talking to whoever this is again, I will stop talking to you for the next year. Okay. That's a boundary. It's, if you do this thing, if you cross this boundary for me, I am going to respond. When you take that control away from them, you make it be all about what you're going to do and you follow through with that. That is one of the best ways to make sure that this never happens again. You keep your boundaries to yourself and decide what you are going to tolerate and what you are not. And a lot of the time people come into your understanding and say, okay, well, I won't cross that boundary again. You can influence the request that you make upon this person and the request that they make upon you. You can't control whether they are honest or not. I know. It seems like you should be able to do that, but you can't. You can't control their healing. You can't control their effort. You can't control the growth that they show, and you can't control their character. All right. I think that if you chose this person, you chose somebody that had good character, that was capable of being honest, that was capable of growing, that was capable of putting in the effort. I don't think that your picker is wrong. I think if you chose this person and you have opened your heart up to this person, they have every capability of growing in those ways, but you do not have control over it. So those are the things you got to let go of. You got to just let go. Whether he's being honest or not, you will find out. All that's done in the dark is revealed in the light. You will find out if he's not being honest. You will find out if he's not doing any healing work. You will find out if he's not putting in the effort that he needs to be putting in. But a lot of the time, you will be the one that shows him how to do this. If you are working on your own healing, your own growth, your own effort, your own character, he's going to want to keep up with that. If he's any kind of man, and I think that you've chosen pretty well. I think that you've chosen well. Yes, people make mistakes, people hurt people, all of that. Yes, people do the wrong things, but I think if you've chosen this person, you have chosen somebody with the capacity to do these things. And so if you show them that that's how you do it, that's how you're honest, that's how you're healing, that's how you're putting in effort, that's how you're growing, they will follow. They will realize that, oh, hey, I want to keep up. I want to grow like this. I don't want to be stuck. I want to do exactly what she's doing. Let me follow her example. Okay. So you can create a lot more of the healing that you want simply by healing, by working on your own healing. Peace begins where control ends. Okay. I know you want to control him. I know you do. I know you feel like if I can control it, then I won't be hurt anymore. He won't be have the chance to do any of this any longer. It's gonna be fine. But I point out, what about when you are in his phone? Like you have his location, all right, and you are just checking it just to make sure he is where he says he is. And he is. He has been exactly where he says he was going to be according to the Life 360 or whatever it is you have. And you check. And you check in the daytime and you check at nighttime and you check anytime that you're not with each other. But you're not at peace, are you? You are checking. You are anxious. You are worried. You are not actually feeling calm and at peace because you're constantly having to worry about what that person is doing. You're trying to control what they're doing instead of controlling what you are doing. Okay. So your healing can't be held hostage by somebody else's growth. We've got to let that go. We've got to let go of control of trying to figure out what they're doing and work on our own healing. Let's see. So what can you control? I've already taught you a few of those. You can control doing your deep breathing. You can control that. You can control doing your journaling on a regular basis and doing it when, like in the morning and in the evening, and then in the intermittent spaces where you were having trouble, you can control that. You can control your boundaries and what you do about your boundaries. You can control your responses to things. I know a lot of the time the trauma will have you just screaming and angry and hurt, but you don't have to respond like that every time. You can feel that feeling, recognize that feeling, and take a moment and sit with it, or walk away, or go ride in the car, buy yourself a milkshake. You can do other things than just respond to what the fear and the pain are telling you. Okay. You can control your own self-care. Oh, please, God, control your self-care. Please, please do your self-care. I need you to be doing something for yourself daily, weekly, monthly. Okay. You need to have specific things that are set into your schedule that are taking care of you, because how you gonna heal if you're not taking care of yourself? Okay. You can control the support that you get. You can control the choices you make. You control the mindset that you have. So you've got a lot that you can control here. On my healing journey, I had to work on doing my deep breathing, doing my journaling, keeping up with those things. Now I'm like, I'm so glad that I did those things. And I'm glad that I teach them to everybody that I work with. I'm glad I teach them to my own children, because doing those basic things, that's maintenance for you. If you are going through something that's a little rough, a little traumatic, you have a tool to use, a couple of tools to use right off the bat that will start to help you with those feelings, to help you not feel like you're completely out of control. There are things that you can do. You can do your deep breathing. You can control your body. You can control sitting down and the thoughts that are coming to your brain, and you can write those down. So you can control those things. My healing itself actually came about because I figured out that everything else wasn't working. Okay. And you may be at that place too. Have you been trying things that you've heard other people say and it's just not doing the thing? That's how I healed. It was all of the advice that I was getting. I was like, oh, this is not working worth a damn. Okay, let's flip this around. Because most of the advice that I was getting was about him, what he could do. Like the dreams formula. I've come up with the dreams formula, how to heal and reconcile after infidelity. If you are interested in that, put PATH in the comments, PATH. It sends you a copy of the dreams formula. But the D in the dreams formula is deciding. I was waiting for him to decide what our future was going to be. Even though I knew what I wanted our future to be. I knew that I wanted to work things out. I did not want to break up. I did not want to break up what we had going at the time. Um, but I was waiting on him to be the one to say that. And at the time, he's in trouble. So he's not going to say anything. He's going to shut up. He's not going to try and make big decisions for us. So I had to be the one to make the decision. Recognizing and overcoming that fear speech. That's the second step of the dreams formula. I was imagining that he would say something or do something that would soothe the thoughts inside my own head, the intrusive thoughts, the mean, nasty thoughts that were coming out. I thought there was something that he could do about it. He should fix it. He should be the one to make me not feel afraid. But that's not the way that works. Nobody else can make you not feel afraid. You've got to work on not feeling afraid. You've got to do that from inside and bring it to the outside. So there was nothing that he could do about it. I was waiting on that to happen, feeling stuck instead of working on my own fears. Does that make sense? I want you to understand that we are not going to wait on this other person to be able to heal. Because that means that you don't get to be the person that you want to be. While you're waiting on them, you are in a holding pattern of fear and anxiety and sadness and anger, not being the person that you want to be. We don't have to wait on them for anything. We can go ahead and start the healing, and that puts you in a better place for the relationship itself to work out. We're not trying to force them to be anybody else either. This is the person that you love. You don't want them to be a whole other person. You want them to be the same person, just with no cheating. That's what it really is. But when you are trying to control everything, you sense that, oh, well, if I can get him to change this, and this about himself, I can get to change all these things that are going on within him, then I'll be safe and he won't cheat again. But that doesn't mean that. That just means that you changed who he was as a person, and he could still cheat just as easily. All right. So we're not trying to force them to be anybody else. That's not going to help you heal. He could do all the work. He could do all the changing. He could do all of the work of healing. He could do all the work of understanding why he did this. That does not heal you. It doesn't. Him healing doesn't fix you. If you are hurting, that has to come from within you. It is not, oh, he fixed himself, now he's going to give you some healing. That's not the way it works. You got to work on that healing from the inside out. The fastest way to create momentum about your healing, is to focus on the parts of the story where you still have the power. And we just talked about that. There are things that you can do within your own body, dealing with your own trauma, that will make you feel empowered. When I started to really understand, when I started to really run with, okay, I can fix this, I felt like Superwoman. I felt like, oh, I didn't have to wait for anybody. I have the ability. I am amazing. Oh, and then that gave me a little bit more momentum to go ahead and do a little bit more, change a little bit more, understand a little bit more. Moving on to the E of the dreams formula. E is evaluating why this happened. I didn't have to evaluate why this happened to stop him from doing it again. I was evaluating why it happened so that I could have some compassion for him. I could understand that something had to be wrong. Something was wrong. It's never happened that nothing was wrong. Every woman that I've ever helped, every woman that I've ever talked to, it was like, hurt people hurt people. So there was something that was hurting him and caused him to do something to hurt you. It has never been, oh, I just felt like cheating. I didn't want to be faithful to my woman. I just wanted to go ahead and hurt her and make her feel like crap. That's never been the case. It was always some sort of sickness or sadness or stupidity that caused this to happen. That wasn't just maliciousness. It was some pain that they were in. So instead of twisting that pain and trying to make it a lever of control, I could make it something that I was compassionate about. I could understand, oh, he's hurting. Okay, let me see if I can find some compassion in me, because I'm hurting and I want him to have compassion for me while I'm hurting. So let me see if I can have a little compassion for him while he's hurting, and then we can heal together. Okay. Um, you don't need anybody else's permission to start healing. I don't want you to wait anymore. That's what gets you stuck. You feel like you have to have a certain thing, it has to be a certain way for you to be able to heal. And that is just not true. You can put all the baggage down right here, right now, middle of the street, and walk away from it and start your healing journal. You do not have to carry this baggage with you anymore. You don't have to do it. So you don't have to wait for somebody else to tell you that you can do it. You can choose that on your own. Start with little things, and then you build momentum. And then as you build the momentum, you start to roll. You start to feel good with it. You start to feel like, okay, I got this now. And every time I felt like I got held up, I went back to, what can I do about it? What can I do in this situation that will help me to progress? I'm not going to look on the outside. I'm not going to look over here. I'm going to look in here and see what I can do to change what I'm feeling right now. And every single time it worked. Every single time I took my focus off of him and put it back onto myself and what I could do in the situation, it caused more healing every single time. And that's what I tell my clients. I was just talking to a client the other day. I'm like, don't tend to his part. That is not your business. You tend to your healing. When you tend to your healing, you are an avatar. You are showing him how to heal. I always liken this to being lost in the woods together. This is a fairy tale, and there's a curse, and you have been lost in the woods with your beloved. And every now and again, you see him, right? You see him through the woods, you see him through the trees, a little bit of dappled light. You see him and he looks so good. And it's like, oh, there's my boo. This is the person that I want to be with. And you start trying to crash through the woods to get to them instead of finding the path out of the woods. Well, every time you do that, every time you're distracted by the glimpses of him off in the woods, it pulls you off the path. It starts to make you more and more lost right alongside him, because he's lost too. He's lost. You can't find him, and then all of a sudden you know where you are. He's lost just as hard as you are. So if you can keep your eye on your path, what will happen is he will see you through the woods, through those little dappled spaces of light. And he'll be like, she is looking at the ground. She has a path. She is not looking for me. She is looking at the way out. Let me go catch up with her. That is how this works. You are going to lead him out of the woods just as you're leading yourself out of the woods. You are the hero of this story. Okay. So, what's one thing you've been waiting for someone else to do to let yourself move forward? What is something? Put it in the comments. Let me know. What's something that you've been waiting for someone else to start? It's waiting for him to do, to say, to behave like, for you to start moving forward on your own healing path. Let me know in the comments, because I love to hear from you. I do. And that's an excellent thought. If you think about it for a moment, there are plenty of things that you are hesitating on doing because you're waiting for him to do the thing first. If you know what the path is, if you know that the right thing is the thing that will heal you, do the thing that will heal you. Don't wait on them, okay? All right, so that's about it for the lesson for today. The Trust Issues Challenge will start next week, so sign up for that. You can get my guide to the dreams formula just by putting PATH in the comments, PATH. I will send you the link for the whole guide to the dreams formula, how to heal and reconcile after infidelity. And we're going to be diving into the trust. We're going to be diving into rebuilding. We're going to be diving into you claiming your own personal power. We're going to be diving into the fear that is in your brain and how to heal it and how to feel emotionally safe again. So I want you to be there for it, okay? The goal isn't to control somebody else's journey. The goal is to stop abandoning your own journey. When you are lost in the woods, you cannot find your way by looking at somebody else who is lost in the woods. You have to find the path, walk the path, and call out to them every now and again. Be like, okay, I'm over here. I'm on the path. I'm heading home. You should follow me if you want to get out. All right. When you can go ahead and walk your path, walk your healing path, you will be a much better leader on how to get them healed and back home where they belong to. All right. I think that's about it for that. So, one last thing. Every time we get together, the things that I told you about at the beginning and this are all the practices. That's what I call them. They are all the things that I tell my clients, the things that you can do all on your own without any help whatsoever, no participation from the person who hurt you. You can do these things and it will start to heal some of the effects of the trauma on your body. So, the last thing, besides doing your deep breathing, doing your journaling, doing your gratitude practice, not asking all those questions, the big one that I want you to remember to do is to do your affirmations. Have you been doing your affirmations? I need you to jump on that, okay? If you've not been saying good things about yourself, you need to start. When your brain is traumatized, remember I told you it makes everything seem like it's bad? That includes you. It will tell you that you're bad. It will tell you that you're awful. It will tell you that this is all your fault. He only cheated on you because you're too insert adverb here. I am too fat. I am too slow. I am too serious. I am too sexy. All sorts of things. It will tell you about yourself that aren't true at all. Because his reasons for cheating didn't have anything to do with you. That's not your responsibility. When somebody does the wrong thing, they're doing the wrong thing because they are choosing to do the wrong thing, not because of you. So your brain will keep telling you, though, that you're the cause of all your misery. So you've got to be doing your affirmations to remind yourself that you are not the problem here. You are not the bad person just because this bad thing happened to you. Okay. So today's affirmation is, today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. See, look at that. Even though that's not personally about you, you are excited about the fact that this is going to be a good day. So today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. Wake up first thing in the morning and say that to yourself. Remind yourself periodically through the day and see, doesn't your day get really good? Okay. Just telling yourself, you don't have to believe your affirmations right off the bat. That's unnecessary. You just have to repeat them over and over again. Look yourself in the eye, look yourself in the mirror in your camera, and say them like you mean them so that your brain has a record of you saying, no, I'm excited. Things are good. I'm happy about the way things are going. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I'm not holding back. I'm good. If you keep on doing that consistently, your brain will believe you because your brain cannot tell the difference between make believe and truth. Whatever you repeat to it over and over and over again, that's what it believes. So repeat that over and over again. Tell your brain how excited you are for the best day ever, and you'll start to have really good days. Okay? All right, y'all. I think that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Remember, do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude practice. Do not ask all those questions and do your affirmations. But more than any of those things, do not do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. I know that they are loud. I know that they are screaming all sorts of instructions at you. But whatever the fear and the pain, that thump in your chest, that drop in your stomach, whatever those feelings are telling you to do, that's the hurting path. That is not the healing path. We want to do the exact opposite of what the fear and the pain tell us. If they say, check his location, put that phone down. Do not check that location. Go do something for yourself. Do some self-care. Take care of you. Tend to your own healing. Okay? Every single time it's screaming at you. Most of the time, the fear is screaming. Most of the time, it's loud, it's yelling, it's ordering you around, telling you to do something. Do not do whatever it tells you to do. Do the exact opposite of what it tells you to do. That's the healing path. Guaranteed, I promise you, that's the path out of the woods. Whatever the screaming is saying, that's going to leave you deeper and deeper into the woods, honey. It's going to make you real sad because it's going to get dark real quick. But if you do the exact opposite, you start to walk back out into the light. And that's where you want to be. Okay? All right, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. If nobody has told you this week, I love you. And I'm so proud of you. Damn, we need more women who are all about love and forgiveness and compassion and understanding. We need that. We need women like that in the world. We need women who are willing to go for unconditional love instead of giving up on that. We need more of that in the world. We need more love in general. So the fact that you are putting more love out into the world is a beautiful thing, and I'm proud of you for it. Okay? Mwah! Love you so much. And I will be back again next week. Now I'm going to be here with you all week long. It's going to be like 8 o'clock. I'm going to be doing the Trust Issues Challenge all week, except for Wednesday. And then I'm going to be back next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. So I hope to see you then. Come join me. All right. Bye, y'all.